Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKCollectibles, and today, to continue Spooky Month, we're going to be jumping into the macabre and eerie with the Creep from Creepshow. What's up, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at as I said, we were going to be taking a look at the Creep from Creepshow. This was a figure done by Neca, and it's a 7-inch figure. One thing to note, this isn't, like, it's a kind of weird figure for me. It's a weird amalgamation because it has elements of an Ultimate figure, like in terms of articulation and size and everything, but it has, like, cloth features and, like, kind of the, like, kind of hair that they would use for the cloth figures themselves. Like, closest I can think of is the Pamela Voorhees from Part 3. But if we take a quick look at the packaging looks really, really great. It looks exactly kind of like what a EC horror comic would look like, and even the Creepshow comic book in general, because there are the comics within the show and the movie. Now, to note, this Creep is based off the Creep from the TV show from Shudder. The showrunner being Greg Nicotero, who's done like effects on a lot of stuff. He's done effects on Phantasm 2. He's done, like, he was the zombie effects guy for The Walking Dead. I still think he is, but he is doing this, and there is going to be a second series. It's kind of cool because you get, like, it's very much harkens back to that 50s era of comics. Like, you got Creepshow, Tales of Suspense and Horror, then you got the good, like, a little, like, artist rendition of the Creep, which looks really good, Strange, Eerie, and Terrifying, GN, which is clearly standing for, here, let me get that zoomed in. Yep, see GN for Greg Nicotero, then we get Strange, Eerie, and Terrifying in 10 cents. God, if this figure was 10 cents, that would be amazing. Another thing you note, you get, like, a really cool backdrop, which, like, adds to the whole kind of macabre of the show, which is really, really great, I think. Just terms of aesthetic, the box is really, really great. So you got Creepshow right here in the Creepshow font. You got the Creep right here and the Creep. And you get a really cool, like, shot, another, like, kind of more of the logos and everything, like, and you get a really cool production shot right here of which it looks very similar to how the Creep first shows up in the film, where, like, the kid gets his comic book thrown away by his dad, Tom Atkins. But it is pretty good, I have to say. Like, I think NECA, with the production shots, they really nailed that look of the EC horror comic, and even the movie. Even though this is based off the TV show one, as I said millions of times, this very reminds me of the movie, the beginning of the movie. But we'll get a close-up look at the text, and I'll pause that. You guys can, I'll hold it on there for a bit, and you guys can pause it and you can read it, which looks pretty good. Once again, we get the top of the packaging with Creepshow, get the bottom, all the stats and the credits and everything. So with that out of the way, let's get to the Creep himself. And here we have the Creep out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this is a really cool figure. Like, I think he is genuinely one of, like, a really, really cool figure. It is cool to have a Creep figure finally. I know that there was a company, I can't remember the company that did it, but they did some 3/4 inch scale figures from Creepshow. They did the oh god, they did the Crate, I know that. They did the Father's Day, they did Nathan, they did oh my god, I can't remember the one with Leslie Nielsen and in it. So, Something to Tide You Over. They had like the two zombies from that segment, which is really cool. I generally think this is a really, really cool figure. It had, like, it's an interesting figure because, as I said in the intro, well, like, talking about the box, it has a blend of, like, cloth figure but it has articulation of a 7, like a Ultimate figure. So, with that out of the way, before we jump into the Creep himself, I want to take a look at his accessories, because he actually, even though he isn't an Ultimate figure, he does come with a few accessories. Right, so he does come with a few accessories right here. So the first one I think I'll talk about is the lantern, which looks really, really good. There's really not much I can say about it. It is a lantern, but it looks really, really good, really articulated. This plastic, it's kind of a kind of hard, soft plastic, kind of in the middle in between. The light, the actual translucent plastic is really good. Unfortunately, I think a missed opportunity from NECA is ultimately a one that lights up. But I can see that it would be a lot of engineering, and also it'd be a little bit hard to do. But like, other than that, like the detailing, it has like this kind of like, I want to say like a bronze, but with a bronze finish to it. But it has like some shading on it, like dry brushing on it, which looks really, really cool. He also comes with this skull, which I am not completely sure. I actually think it is actually a changeable, it is a swappable hand sculpt. You can put the skull on the Creep if you want, but ultimately I've had a actually relatively hard time trying to get because as soon as I pop the Creep's head off, it comes with the ball joint, so the ball joint's not within the neck anymore. Like, the actual joint isn't within the neck anymore, so not to say that it broke my figure, it's just when you pop the head off the Creep, it takes the ball joint with it. But yeah, it's a pretty good skull, good looking skull. Like, I actually don't really have that many skulls to say, like, of how this looks good. I mean, the only one I think I would say would be the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers with the pumpkin that actually opens, and it has the skull in it. But it looks pretty good for a skull. Not much I could say else. But the main feature, I think, which is really, really cool that it comes with, is a actual Creepshow comic book. Which, let me see if I can get this zoomed in. There we go. So yeah, it's really cool. It's a kind of hard to tell, but when you get the figure in person, it's a little shot of the Creeper with, what is that? Oh, it's the little lizard thing. So it's actually kind of cool. And you also get stuff in the back with previous issues, which I like. Just judging, they reference these little. It's kind of hard to tell because of the reflection, but some of the, like, it's a really, really cool detail, because these are actually some of the episodes that actually happen within the series itself, which I think is actually really cool. And you open it up, and it actually shows snippets from the episode. I think it's with the guy with the little, like, not the finger. I think it's the finger, actually, that and it mutates into this little monster thing, which is really, really, is a really, really fun show. Like, it definitely, like, comparative to, I think, Creepshow 2 and even 3, because I heard 3 is absolutely god-awful, and I don't have plans intending to watch this. This series is definitely a good successor to the original movie, which is what you want. You definitely want something, and you can even tell in the background that I got the graphic novel from Creepshow. Like, it's the graphic novel adaptation of the original movie, which is really cool. But with that, with the accessories out of the way, let's get to the Creep himself and take a look at some of the details that he has. And here's the Creep, and man, what I gotta say, it looks really, really cool, really, really great. Actually, apparently a fun behind-the-scenes thing for the show. Essentially, the Creep is essentially the exact same as it is in the film, with a few changes here and there, of course. I actually think this isn't a guy in a suit or anything. It's kind of a little hard because of the, because he's a little bit skeleton and bones. But apparently it is an animatronic that, like a puppet that they use, similar to the first film, which I think is really, really great. But, like, getting into the details, like, he has this, for his the main outfit, it is this cloth. As I said, it's the introduction. This is kind of a good hybrid between, like, cloth figure and Ultimate figure, if that makes any sense. Like, you got this really, really cool cloth, like, cloak that is very similar to what he uses in the show. I would say it's a little lighter, because it's interesting with the Funko Pop when they go. I'm not sure exactly which one's more accurate, just because you don't really get to see. I need to rewatch it to see, like, what the Creep looks like within some of the scenes, because there's some intros of where you get to see him in the dark and he is in the light, and it's not like with the EC comic horror like colors and everything. But with that out of the way, I do think the cloth is actually really cool. It looks raggedy, it looks creepy. I think they did a really a great job with the figure. And it's also to note that you can actually, it has a like a bendy wire right here, so you can get it to look a little kind of like a really creepy cloak, like how he has in the original film, and I think even Creepshow 2, which those segments were animated. So let's get on to the Creep himself, and so let's zoom in on this. Alright, so here we have the Creep up close, and man, what I gotta say, he looks really good. Like, he looks raggedy and really old, but that like matches the aesthetic for Creepshow. As I said, like the Pamela Voorhees, the corpse of Pamela Voorhees, he has this kind of like hair that's glued on. It looks really good. It looks really creepy and really raggedy, just to kind of say like this is a decaying living corpse, which is really cool. And you can definitely also tell, even within the show, you can definitely tell Greg Nicotero designed it, designed this specific one, because it looks very creepy. And it looks like something from The Walking Dead. Like, this looks like a zombie, but at the same time, it has its identity as the Creep from Creepshow. Here we have the hands. Let's see if I can get these. Another thing to note, the Creep has kind of like, it's a kind of like tannish, like, I don't know, not a tan, but it's like a really kind of beige kind of color with some hints of dry brushing. You get some like holes right here, and it generally it looks really good. Like, it looks really good for a dead corpse. Actually, oh wow, he's fully, it's kind of hard to tell, but like you can kind of tell like this is actually a fully molded corpse figure, which I think is really cool. The feet. Let's see if we can get a close up of the feet. I don't know if we can. I don't think it will let me. But the feet have some really good detail on them too. Oh, I'm gonna get the Creep back into focus. There we go. But yeah, I do think he is a really cool looking figure. I don't know how accurate he is comparative to like the Funko Pop, which has the much more kind of like gray, even though like it's kind of interesting, his cloak will, like his main clothes, they vary so much between media, like even within the comic, like the graphic novel adaptation, he has like a green cloth. In this, it's like kind of a tan, but it also has like dark, like there's like hints of like, not dry brushing, but there's like hints of like great dark patches, which I'm okay with. And but yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the articulation, because this guy does have an ultimate figure body mold, so he does have articulation very similar to an ultimate figure. So let's get right into that. Alright, so the Creep, he can actually look up a little bit with like the hood. Like if you're not hindrance by the hood, he can look down quite a bit, which is really good. He does have an ab crunch, but it's kind of like hard to use just due to the cloth, like the cloth cloak. His arms can move out that much, go down. I think just judging from the body mold, because this is, as I said many times, this has a like an ultimate style kind of body. It's like actually like the ultimate style of figures. You can't really rotate his arm all the way around without like hindering with the hindrance of the cloth. We can actually look. So he actually has double jointed elbows, so he can do that. Wrists are on a hinge, and you can rotate, which looks really good. His legs are also, oh, there we go. Woohoo, yeah, ladies, for all you lovers of creeps. But he has single jointed elbows, which is single jointed knees. But like, man, look at, like, he looks really skinny. Like, look, he did not go to leg day, but like, he's supposed to be a rotting corpse, so it totally makes sense. Foot go up, it can hinge, and I think, yeah, it's got an ankle pivot. So yeah, pretty good relatively good articulation for this guy. I do think a lot of it is hindered due to the cloth, but like at the same time, I don't think the figure would be exactly the same if it had a kind of plastic molded one. I actually hope to see more of the Creepshow figures from NECA, because I think there's a lot of them. I know Funko made a few of them, but like made two others, like the Genie and the Scarecrow thing. Those look really, really cool, and I really want to see those in NECA form. Who knows? Maybe Randy will surprise. Maybe NECA will surprise us this month to see if we get anything. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into size comparisons to see what he scales with, and we'll be back in a minute. Here we have him compared to some other figures. So we have the Gaming Greats Darth Nihilus from Knights of the Old Republic 2, and we have the Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 84 by McFarlane. And yeah, I mainly compared him to, he is kind of in the middle ground, so he is he is tall, like he's bigger than the Darth Nihilus, but at the same time he's kind of on par with the Wonder Woman at the same time. This is a 7-inch figure, so, and just judging, like, McFarlane's 7-inch can differ from NECA's 7-inch, and like once again, this is a Darth Nihilus is a 6-inch figure. In comparison with some other NECA figures, so we have the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers, and we have the clothed 8-inch Herbert West from Reanimator. And as you can tell, the Creep very much more scales with the Ultimate style of figures and the 8-inch fig, which what Herbert West is, but it is really cool to have this guy because he is like kind of a perfect blend between both the cloth figures and the Ultimate figures. He has a kind of articulation style body of the Ultimates, but he also has cloth apparel, very much like the other figures. So yeah, and then here's one little fun little comparison, and here he is compared to the Funko Pop Creep, and this was the first one that was released, and I gotta say, I really liked both of them. They're very different in very different ways. Like, I think this one may have a more accurate looking cloak comparative to the Creep, but like at the same time, I think both these figures are really, really cool. The Funko Pop is really, really cool, and I think the NECA figure is really, really great too. So if you are a fan of Creepshow, either the movie or the new TV show from Shudder, I suggest definitely picking up both these guys because I think they would make a great great addition to anybody's macabre collection of the eerie, like Creepshow. So here we have the Creep on the rotating base with a few of kind of creepy, eerie things like the dead cat from Reanimator, Dr. Hill, the Necronomicon, the Reagent, and one of Jason's machetes. Overall, what I think of the Creep, I think he's a good figure, and as I said a million times in the video, I think he is a perfect blend between the articulated figures of like Ultimate style figures and the cloth figures. Even though the cloth kind of does hinder articulation, I do think it is pretty good. But like, as I said, I really enjoy this figure. I really hope to see more from the Creepshow license from NECA, especially from the TV show. I kind of want more stuff from the movie because I think a lot of people do. But ultimately, I'm very happy with this figure, and it's really nice to have him in the collection. So, yeah, and if you are a fan of the original Creepshow movie, or even if you're a fan of the new show, I definitely suggest picking this guy up. So, that's it for today, guys. So if you liked the video, remember to hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when we upload videos like figure reviews, Mythical Mondays, and What's in the Box Wednesdays. So, yeah, and also give us a like too, so that'd be very much appreciated. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a spooky, scary Halloween that's coming up, and there's actually a special kind of review planned for the Friday of the eve of Halloween, I should say. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.